Hey everybody, we're back in the Geek Cave for a special edition of Hops Geek News. This is going to be full of news because Disney Investors Day literally just happened and there's a lot to unpack that we felt that we needed to hop on and really get an episode out ASAP. First of all, I'm Mash alongside with Hoppy Mommy. I'm drinking a Brain Power IPA because I got to use a lot of brain power to digest the things that just happened from Investors Day. Holy shit. Hoppy, what are
Ooh,
you drinking? How are we tonight?
I am good. I am drinking another beer from Three Sons. I know we actually just recorded our Harry Potter, so we're going full on recording tonight. So I'm
We
sticking with the Three
did.
Sons. And this is called Multipass. It's an IPA. And if you're on YouTube, you can see, I guess
Ooh,
it's it's a
mixtape.
multipass for all the news
Yeah,
tonight.
my can's not that great. It's just this one's from Faces, which they're in Malden,
Ooh, with bent
Mass.
water.
Yeah, it's
We've been getting bent
Massachusetts.
water down here.
Shout out, I got Massachusetts repping the homeland. They just opened up not long ago during the pandemic, and they're a really great brewery. I've had some stuff from them. I can't wait to get back home when this pandemic subsides and I'm able to actually get to the brewery. But yeah,
I'll bet.
really good place to go. Oh
Yeah,
man,
we've gotten lots of bent water, and I got my Thor or as well Thor and Rocket glass. So
Thor is
ready to. This is
beer bonging a
basically
beer.
like Yeah, this is basically like Marvel fandom.
Oh man, so we had DC fandom, which was good. However, Disney Investors Day was holy crap. This was way
And it's
better.
Star Wars too.
It was great. So we have Star Wars, we have Marvel. I mean, there's a couple other things like Pixar in there, along with whatever Disney things has because this is a Disney Investors Day. So not only does Disney own all Fox Marvel properties, but they have Pixar and all the other things. So before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe to us on Hops Geek News. Search us Hops News anywhere you listen to podcasts. And with that said,
Love us, like us,
let's get
listen
started.
to us.
We'll go Star Wars first because Marvel had a
Oh,
lot.
okay.
Actually, before we get started with Star Wars or Marvel, let's go to the smaller things. So the first thing up that we saw was Chris Evans, aka Captain America. He has America's ass. He's going to be playing Buzz Lightyear in an origin movie that's going to be coming out. So Tim Allen, metaphorically, has been pushed off the roof as the Santa Claus, and Chris Evans has picked up the mantle and it's going to be Buzz Lightyear now. Which Toy Story, everybody kind
It's
of grew up with
weird.
Toy Story, whether you saw it when you were a young kid or you saw it now. Toy Story has always been Tim Allen and now it's Chris Evans. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yep. You are a
Uh,
sad, strange man, and you have my
you are.
pity.
I'm Mrs. Nesbit.
I love that part. I am Mrs.
Um,
Nesbit.
Aside from that, we have Moana. Moana's getting a TV show. I'm excited for that because I've watched Moana every single day when it first came out because my kids love that movie. It was a good movie. The
It is a
Rock
good
has some
one, yeah.
acting chops. The Rock can sing, and it was a really good movie. You must find the
And I love the
princess.
artwork in that. And they're actually adding a Moana water exhibit to
Oh,
Epcot. So I'm wondering if those are one's gonna, kind of endorse the other.
yeah.
It's
I'm
pretty
interested to
smart
see,
like
but
that.
Moana is it's a great, well done. Takes place, Hawaiian Islands, things like that. So that'd be great. Next, we have Peter Pan and Wendy are going to be coming out live action. Is it live action?
Yeah, I actually went to go look. I know Jude Law's in it. I believe it is live action. Some of the stuff it seemed like they released was a little bit vague. We don't have dates,
Yeah.
kind of just like this is happening, but we don't know exactly what's happening. So, as we get more of that information or find more of that information, we'll definitely let everybody know on any one of these things we're talking about today, whether
Yeah,
it's
we were not
basic Disney, Star
experts.
Wars, Marvel.
We're just getting it out there. Yeah, so we also have Pinocchio, live action Pinocchio with this one's with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Tom Hanks is everywhere. He's going to be playing, I presume, Geppetto, or is he playing Pinocchio?
I don't know. I just saw that he was in
Well,
that.
Tom Hanks is attached to it, and he's going to be in it. Another, we have Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford that's going to begin filming in the spring. At this point, I have to wonder that is Indiana Jones is it. So it's all in his mind. How funny would it be that it's Harrison Ford in like his 80s and he's in a nursing home and they're like, no, you literally just have dementia. You're not on these grand adventures anymore. You have dementia and you're running around and you've got like his kids just, Dad, what's going on?
Aw.
Because there's no way Harrison Ford's going to be on these great Indiana. They've been trying to pass the mantle off of Indiana Jones for how long now?
Right.
Well,
They try to give to Shia LaBeouf.
Shia
I don't
LaBeouf,
think
which
that
I was
worked.
cool with, but the Crystal Skull was bad because they introduced aliens, and that's never what Indiana Jones has been about. You introduce aliens, and it's kind of like a what? Why? So maybe this one will
Right. When
take
you do that, you
off.
have a whole other genre you're working in.
Right, and it was very bizarre. The movie itself was okay for a little bit, but there was, of course, we had the Nazis again. You had Shia LaBeouf in his leather jacket, and turns out to be his son. And they tried so hard.
Yeah,
They
no
got
one
so
saw that
far
coming.
and tried so hard, but in the end, nobody showed up who cared. So they're trying it again with one last ride with Indiana Jones. We'll see how it plays out. And I think that's really kind of about it for the non-Marvel, the non-Star Wars news. Now we'll go into Star Wars next. When, whew. So we have the Mandalorian TV show, which has been nothing short of amazing. We'll talk about the latest episode in addition to the finale, which is coming up this coming Friday. So we'll kind of talk
I
about
can't believe that's
those.
coming up already.
I know, but then we have a month-long break before we get WandaVision, January 15th. So we kind of have the month of hold on for dear life before Marvel hits us in the mouth. And we'll get into what's coming out. Star Wars, though, we have Mandalorian. We just recently were introduced to Ahsoka. Well, Ahsoka is a live action TV show played by Rosario Dawson. We all knew this was coming. She's going to be playing it, and they don't have a
Yeah.
timetable other than 2022, I believe. So she's going to be coming back, donning the mantle of Ahsoka. I'm excited because she was amazing. She had the voice inflections down, everything was down
The
pat.
look, yeah.
So I'm curious to know: are we going to get Ahsoka chasing after Grand Admiral Thrawn? Are we going to see Ahsoka show up in the Mandalorian anymore? There's a lot of questions there. What do you think is going to
Right. And a
maybe
lot of
this will be
theories.
about? It's probably going to be about her searching for Thrawn since she was looking for him anyways. I assume that's what it's going to be about.
Well, I wonder if we'll get a lot more crossovers too, like kind of what we saw with Netflix with, the Defenders and a lot of, we saw Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
And so I'm wondering if we'll get to see some of that, all these worlds intertwined.
I believe that they announced that Ahsoka was going to cross over in a big event with Mandalorian. I could be mistaken. If I'm wrong on this, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some sort of event that has Ahsoka and Mando. They're going to somehow cross over in like a big event again. So I wouldn't be surprised, anyways. It makes sense. Build your universe there.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV shows, we have Kenobi. Kenobi's going to be filming coming up this spring of 21 to come out in 22. And Hayden Christensen's coming back as Darth Vader. Thank God. Because Hayden Christensen, George Lucas's scripts are awful. He's not an actor's writer. He can come up with a good, sort of well thought out plan. He's kind of like a J.K. Rowling in that he adds stuff after the fact. But he got a lot of shit thrown at his
Or
way
delete
when
stuff like the Star
or
Wars
delete
holiday
stuff,
special.
yes, or delete stuff. And now finally Hayden's going to come back, and I'm interested because in A New Hope they make it seem as though Obi-Wan and Anakin haven't seen each other since the day on Mustafar. And the one thing I've been waiting to see forever is Obi-Wan finding out that Anakin is still alive, only now he's Darth Vader. And Kathleen Kennedy was basically like, yeah, this is going to be a rematch for the decades, like a rematch to end all rematches, basically. And so it kind of insinuates that they're going to fight each other again. So speaking of retconning things, this is probably on its way to retconning some things. I think we're going to get Anakin and Darth Vader probably face off again, which I'm not mad against, because then that would lead some credence to Kenobi being like, oh, he's more machine than man now, because he could try to save him, bring him back, and he's no longer the man that he once knew.
Right. Mentally and physically. Well, and it may, I mean, Star Wars much more so than I do, inside and out. But, when you were first introduced to Kenobi, originally he's kind of like hiding out. It's like, well, what
Yeah,
basically caused him to retire? And some of that could just be he feels like he failed his Padawan. So, maybe we'll get more of the insight behind that.
there's a lot
Cause
of
I
depth
mean,
there. Yeah,
yeah. So,
and Ewan McGregor is
um,
fantastic at acting to begin with, so I have no doubt that he's going to blow this out the water. And he's excited to return as Kenobi, and we're gonna get some more fleshed out things. And this is the one series everybody's been clamoring about for years now. Everybody has wanted Ewan back as Kenobi, and we're finally getting it.
Right. Yeah, I've loved him pretty much in everything I've seen him in. He's such a diverse, you know,
Hmm.
character. He does all these different things and he does them well. I mean, you see him doing Broadway and what is it, Moulin Rouge, and then you see him with
Yeah.
the lightsaber and
Then he was also
in
Black
Star
Skull
Wars.
in the Harley Quinn movie there, Birds of Prey.
Oh, Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah, he
great in
was
that
massive
too. And then he's in like
in Birds
Train
of Prey.
Spotting. He's in a bunch of stuff, and he's never been in a bad movie. He was in The Island with Scarlett
Big Fish.
Johansson. Big Fish is such a good movie. That
Oh
movie,
yeah, The Island. That
Big
movie
Fish, gets
wasn't
me
the best,
sad.
but it was enjoyable.
Oh, The Island. It was a Michael Bay film, so
Big
you
Fish is
got
good.
what you expected. It
No,
was,
I've seen it.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I
that
liked
movie was
it
crazy
sort
with the
of. I saw it in
clones.
theaters actually.
Mm,
But anyways, yeah, we're getting
that was
Ewan back.
interesting. A lot of big people were in that.
There
Yeah,
really
back
were a
to
lot of big
Disney.
people. We have Ranger of the High Republic, so not really much info on that, just kind of announced. We got a trailer for Bad Batch, which Bad Batch, if you watch the Clone Wars TV series, they're quote unquote a bad batch of clones that were created. They're like really badass. They're basically special commandos,
Mm.
and so they're back. They got their own TV show, and it looks really good. I don't know if you watched the
So if
trailer
they're a
yet.
bad batch of clones, are they for the Empire still, or are they
They
just
kind of were
like
free
how are they a bad
thinking.
batch?
They came out.
Like Finn?
No, they were clones. They came out. There were some things wrong with them. Their chips were defective, stuff like that. And so they were kind of treated as like they should have been killed, but they weren't. I have to double back on this because it's been a while since I actually watched the Clone Wars TV series. So I kind of
Right.
need to circle back, and I'll fix it for next week's episode when we talk Harry Potter. I'll put
Okay.
that in the.
I know with some of the stormtroopers you have clones, and then some of them are like what Finn was, where they kidnapped him as
So
a
they
kid.
they had clones, yes, and
So
the
that's what I was thinking. If
Emperor
he was
pretty
more
much
free thinking,
phased
like
out
maybe.
clones after the Empire took power. They phased clones out to bring
Oh,
in like
okay.
real people because the Emperor didn't want clones. They're like I said, they were just like a means to an end, basically, and he was just using them as pawns to bring about his empire. So I'll hit that up under the things that we don't know. But another big Marvel director is Taika Waititi. He's going to direct a Star Wars movie. I don't know what that is yet, but he's going to come and direct one. We have the Lando TV
I think he
show,
did one of the
which
Mandalorians.
he did. He was also the robot man Mandalorian season 1 that died. I can't remember the numbers now, but
Oh, the nanny.
yeah, he was the nanny. He died, of course, and so he's coming back. And let me see, we have Cassian Andor. Nobody asked for that one. We have I don't know why you
Okay,
need it
then.
because well, spoiler alert for Rogue One, Cassian kind of dies and he's just kind of there. So we have the Cassian
Spoiler for
Andor
Rogue One:
show.
everyone dies.
Spoiler: nobody makes that alive, nor should they, because it's a
Right.
story about stealing the Death Star plans, and you don't see
Right.
them at all. So, yeah,
A lot of people died.
you have Cassian Andor. That series is coming out eventually. Lando's TV show, which is going to be, I presume, it's probably going to be Donald Glover because he played him in the Solo movie, right?
That's what I
There's
was
not a lot
wondering.
of
Yeah, I love him.
talk there. I thought he was great. I preferred him much over what's his name playing Solo.
The guy who
And
played Solo, I don't know what his name is.
I can't remember his name all of a sudden. I mean, he wasn't bad, but I like
No,
the
he was
Donald
good.
Glover's amazing. You know, the Childish Gambino. I love his
Yeah.
music. I love Atlanta. I love those TV shows. Um, we have Rogue Squadron is going to be a movie produced in or not produced, directed by Patty Jenkins. So Wonder Woman director, she's getting tapped to do a Rogue Squadron. Her little announcement video was talking about her dad, who was a fighter pilot. I guess he died. I didn't know that. He was in the Air Force and he died. And so she was like, now I get to, my dream was to make a fighter pilot movie or about planes that go fast, fire
Oh
further,
wow.
farther, higher, faster. And she was like, well, this is kind of how I'm doing it. And she was putting on the Rogue Squadron helmet. She was climbing into an X-Wing or walking to it. And I'm excited because Rogue Squadron, I played it on the 64. There's a new PlayStation 4 Xbox game that just came out that was called Rogue Squadron. And if there's one thing that Disney has done well, it is their battles, their space dogfighting scenes. I'm excited to finally see what some of these X-wings can do. I want to. What I basically want from Star Wars is let's get away from the Skywalkers, let's get away from the Palpatines, and give me some of the lesser known things. Like I want from the Rebels point of view, or maybe even a Clone Wars TV show that's a war show that you're in the trenches with some of these guys, because you hear how awful it was in the latest Mandalorian. You kind of hear a little bit about it, which I'm not going to talk about right now. So I really want to see
Yeah,
like,
with Bill Burr.
yeah, I really want to see something that has to do with just some normal people fighting in this war, and you really kind of get some human emotion behind it, or alien emotion. It doesn't have to be humans. It's Star Wars after all. So I'm excited. Patty
Right.
Jenkins, she's phenomenal. She killed
Um,
Wonder Woman in a good way.
yeah, she really did. And hopefully we will get to see the new movie soon.
Yes.
They have not said, or Disney has not said anything about who's actually playing Lando, whether it's Danny Glover or Billy D. Williams. We
Donald
really don't know
Glover,
yet.
not Danny Glover. Danny Glover's 90 years
We
old.
should say, did I say Danny
Don,
Glover?
it's
I'm getting too
definitely
old for this
Donald
shit.
Glover.
Right. I have heard an interview with the other one, and he's been asked if they're related. He's like, "Nope, we're not
No
related."
relation.
And I should say the things we're talking about are all going to Disney Plus. Even
Yes,
the
everything's going to
movies,
Disney
Peter Pan and
Plus.
Wendy,
Well,
yeah,
no,
and
the Rogue Squadron
Pinocchio.
movies
They're
can
no
go in
longer going to
theaters
the.
as of now. Like these are feature films. Like
Well,
Taika
it said
Waititi.
they're. Oh yeah, some of these ones that are in the future, we don't know yet. But
Right.
Peter
Yeah.
Pan and Pinocchio, they are going to Disney Plus, and they're skipping the theatrical
Well, they're
releases.
charging us an extra
And we
dollar
have
a month
Soul.
now, so they need to. Just kidding. What is
Are
Soul?
they?
I miss Soul. They are. In March, it's going up to $8. Bastards.
Oh, I just paid for the year last time. Can we do
I
that
did
again?
too.
That was
Yeah, I mean,
lovely.
I'm sure you can. Yeah, it's just going to be 8 times 12.
I don't even pay. It's so bad. It's like I've had Netflix for what, over a decade now. I
T-Mobile
think
pays my
15
Netflix.
years
Otherwise, I
now.
wouldn't have
Oh,
Netflix. Honest with you.
T-Mobile does do that. Yeah, yeah. I keep
I
forgetting that.
I straight up would not have Netflix if it wasn't for T-Mobile, because Netflix doesn't have anything good on there anymore. I don't go to Netflix to watch anything. I don't even use
I
Hulu.
use Netflix.
Hulu I just have through Spotify.
Huh.
I don't
All right.
know.
So Soul is actually the new animated movie that's coming out.
Hmm.
Where did I put that one? That one is coming out, I believe, on Christmas. Where the hell did it go? Yeah, it's coming out December 25th. It's a
Is that
Pixar
the
movie.
Latinos? Like Latino characters?
No, that's a
Oh.
different one. This one, I think the main character is actually African American. It's called Soul,
Oh,
like music.
oh yes. This is I know exactly what this one is now. I do
They had
remember this
originally
one.
announced it a
Yeah.
while
It was
ago.
going to be in theaters. Yeah, it's like jazz music and things like that. Yeah, jazz
Yeah.
blues. Yes.
So, and this is our first Disney movie since the one with Star-Lord and Spider-Man.
Yes, we are finally
Can I
onward.
think of
That
that
was
one?
onward.
Onward, thank you.
Yes.
So they're going to be releasing that one on Christmas. So you got Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman.
2 on HBO, and you're going to have Soul on
I'll
Disney
be there
Plus.
watching
So
Wonder
your
Woman. I'll
Christmas is
watch both.
planned.
So Christmas is planned. Don't go anywhere because
Oh,
you shouldn't.
absolutely.
So yeah. So for Star Wars, kind of wrapping it up. The last thing that we do have is The Acolyte, which is a mystery thriller that takes place in the final days of the High Republic, at a time when the Sith were still in hiding. So the rumors are kind of, it might be the rise of Palpatine. I kind of hope they don't do that. So if you've ever played like Knights of the Old Republic, things like that, that's kind of this time frame. So the Sith are still in hiding, the Jedi are at the top of their game, basically. And so this is going to be like a mystery thriller. And I hope they stay away from Palpatine because, again, not everything in Star Wars has to connect to one another. Like Rey was a Palpatine. We didn't need that shit. Just let her be nobody. And so I hope it's just a Sith in
Oh,
hiding
yeah.
who's working to like take the Jedi and all that down. So that's the last little bit of Star Wars news. I'm excited for that one because you're going to get to see some Star Wars that was legends before they decided to bring it back. And I think John Favreau and
Right.
Dave Filoni are going to be doing a lot of these TV shows that are going to be coming out. So like The Acolyte's going to be a TV show. things like that. They're going to be doing
Right.
those.
And that's what they've said is a lot of the stuff that was legend isn't actually canon. So they're bringing
Oh,
it
they're
in and
making it
making some of
canon.
this
Hell
stuff
yeah.
actually canon. Yeah.
There's a lot of
So that's
Star
exciting.
Wars. There's so much. There's like 30 plus years of stories that are good, stories that are bad. So you definitely have a
Right.
lot to pick and choose from. You should do that rather than be like, nope,
Right. I mean, they
everything
have
before this is
books and
trash.
comics all over the place.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see it kind of happening. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I absolutely trust them with my
Oh,
life.
yeah.
My
I
life is
mean,
on the line.
freaking
That's who I'm
John
calling.
Favreau. Yeah. You
And
gave
it's
us Iron
funny
Man and The
because
Mandalorian and Elf.
they were so hesitant to tap him as director for Elf because they were like, he was just this actor that he's never directed anything. And now he has Elf, which is arguably one of the greatest Christmas movies ever. And then you have,
Right.
he did Iron Man. So he got the Marvel universe jump started essentially.
Yep.
And now he's fixing
I
Star
honestly wonder if
Wars.
Disney had bought Marvel if he hadn't done what he did with Iron Man.
Yeah.
I actually just watched Movies That Made Us on Netflix with they did one for Elf and they did one for Nightmare, and they talk about that how like it was a big deal taking a chance on John Favreau.
And
And
boy, did
I mean
he pay
I've
off.
loved him since the '90s, and I mean Swingers, and he did Maid. I think he directed Maid. That's a great
He,
movie.
I love him in The Chef
Um,
because he's the chef. His
you
cooking,
still need to watch Swingers.
I
That's
do.
skinny Vince Vaughn and skinny John Favreau.
So
It's so funny.
tomorrow I started watching the night before. I haven't finished it. I'm actually gonna, since I'm working from home, I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up tomorrow.
Nice, my boy
Thank you.
Hans Gruber. All right, so we move on to our Marvel
We
Disney
have
Plus
Marvel, the
news.
headline. Oh man, we have some
Dun,
great
dun, dun,
news.
dun, dun, dun. Okay, so Falcon and Winter Soldier, March 19th. There is a trailer
Yes.
and they still hate each other. And I
Oh,
absolutely love that. It's
I
so funny.
love, yes.
They're like, your best friend and your significant other that
I
like
still
hate
hate
each other
you.
because they're like jealous of you. And it's like Steve Rogers isn't even there anymore and they're still just like jealous of each other.
It's basically a buddy
So
cop, which is what you want. And I love that they incorporate a little bit of the heaviness of the cap shield because Falcon was given the shield, but he's not taking up the mantle, right? And
right.
you have Zemo. Zemo's in it. And so
Yeah.
I'm here for it because, like you said, their chemistry, Bucky's and Sam Wilson's chemistry really seems to click because they hate each other, but they just mesh together so well.
They really do. And it makes it adds an extra level of comedy because in the end, you know that they know they're both good guys and they know that
Oh,
Cap,
yeah.
I feel like they have respect for each other because they knew that Cap respected both of them and they respect, Steve enough to realize like he's a good judge of character. He's a good guy. If he
He
thought of
likes
both of
you
us
for a
as, yeah,
reason, then you obviously, there's something about you. And
right.
we're in
But
this
like their
together,
scenes in
essentially.
Ultron were just amazing.
Can you move your seat
With,
up? No.
yeah.
That was in Civil War, actually. Where
Oh,
they
yeah,
were in
yeah, it
like
was Civil War, not
and
Ultron. I'm
they're sitting
sorry.
there
I'm
staring
thinking
while
when they're
he's
fighting like with Spider-Man and
smooching.
everything.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Sam's laying on the ground. He's like, "I hate
I
you."
still hate you. So I'm really excited. This so pretty much it seems that WandaVision is going to wrap up mid to late February, if not early March, and then we're going to roll right into Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't be
then
surprised if it's right because they start January 15th and then this
yeah,
starts March 19th. So
well
that
then
makes
we
sense.
got right after Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going to roll right into Loki, which starts in May,
Yes.
and so the trailer looked pretty interesting. My question
Right.
is Loki DB Cooper
I
on
don't know.
on the plane? So DB Cooper was one, he like robbed a bank, stole a plane, got away. Nobody knew. Like the theory is he jumped out of a plane. Well, in this, you have Loki, slick back hair. He's on a plane with a briefcase, and he jumps out of the plane. I think they're
Oh.
insinuating he was like DB Cooper, and so yeah, I there's the time traveling. I forget what they're called. The TVA, is it the time traveling stuff? They're basically time cops, I think, and he's working with them. Like he's captured, and I wonder if they're
Oh, like
like,
from Shield.
yeah. So they're time traveling cops, and it looks like they're gonna be working with Loki, is what it seems like, because they
Maybe I'm
captured
thinking
him.
of Flash, the time traveling cops. I'm getting a
Oh,
lot of things confused
they're
now.
all everything with time travel is kind of the same. I'm just gonna picture in my head from Scott Pilgrim, the vegan police with the guy who played Punisher and the other guy. They show up. We're the vegan police, but yeah, nonetheless, so we're gonna get Loki, and it looks to be really kind of screwy. It looks really good. It just
Well,
there's
see,
not a lot
definitely
of
time. Can you
information.
time travel with the Tesseract? I thought you could just like change dimensions.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if he's time traveling, but the fact that there's time traveling police, maybe he somehow time travels through them. I don't really know.
Or maybe it's but yeah, the trailer picks up literally he grabs the Tesseract in Endgame and vanishes into another place, and that's where the
And you
trailer
kind of
starts.
see that
So
in
it
this.
picks
He
up.
jumps out of the plane and he's like, he calls for Heimdall and is like, now's the time. And he
Yeah.
gets zapped away. So
And then you see the Bifrost.
yeah, you do. And I don't know. I have no idea if it's time traveling. I have no idea what it is, but I'm excited for it. That much I do know.
I guess I had assumed it was just a new timeline because when the ancient one was explaining, if you change something, then you have a new timeline.
Well, he must
Um,
be dimension hopping somehow because they're bringing a multiverse in.
with the Tesseract, he should be able to dimension hop, I
Right.
believe.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
We'll see. I know it's like, and you look at
I
WandaVision,
honestly
I'm
have
like, I'm
no
not even going to
idea.
try to figure out what the hell's going on, but we'll see. Okay, so
And
then we have the What If cartoon. So this one we can imagine all we want because it's called What If, and none of it's technically canon. It's all just fun. But you see scenes that we know, scenes we're familiar with, like Yondu coming to pick up Star Lord, but it's not Star Lord, it's T'Challa. Then you see somebody getting the superhero serum, but it's not Cap, it's actually Peggy Carter. And so there's all these other things, and then you see like Captain America as a zombie, and there's a few other things that we're familiar with but are different. And that'll be a cartoon, so that should be
this
fun.
is this is so I know there are there's another TV show where Chadwick Boseman is playing a blues. I don't I saw the trailer earlier, but this is his final. This is like it for him. This is his final
Oh, did
reprisal
he
of Black
voice the
Panther.
characters in
He
this?
voiced the characters. I believe, to my
Oh,
knowledge,
I did not know
everybody who
that.
voiced their characters, to my knowledge. So this is it for Chadwick Boseman. This is going to be the final, and they part of the news that they announced. So Black Panther 2 will release in 2022 July, and they're not going to replace Black Panther him. So basically, the T'Challa's story is dead with Chadwick, which I know a lot of people are kind of upset about. I can kind of agree with it because they're saying that the character is bigger than the actor, and it would be a disservice to Chadwick if they just let the character, because there's a lot of stories to tell, and a lot of people are like,
Right.
"Hey, he finally gave it." So there's a superhero that really makes me feel like I could be a superhero because of the color of my skin, essentially. So I can see it both ways. I personally would like to see more T'Challa stories because we only got the one. We really haven't gotten any. And there's also a whole with Shiri. She went on some anti-vax rant, the actress who plays her, and so a lot of people are mad about that. So we'll get into
Oh
that at some
no.
point. Neither here nor there. However, we didn't get a trailer. We got a sizzle reel for Miss Marvel, which is going to come out late 2021. So that might be the final. That might come after What If, and that might be it for 2021 for Marvel TV shows because after that, probably release in the fall, we're probably going to roll into Mandalorian, which is coming out Christmas of 2021.
So
So
we're finally getting what we want with all new stuff from Disney
oh,
Plus.
we are getting month after month. We're getting solid things for the next year, and that's going to keep us going. It's going to keep me alive, man.
Right. So I'm looking at What If, and I actually don't even see. I don't see it, but I see a lot of people. I don't see Chadwick Boseman, but I mean, so the Watcher is Jeffrey Wright. He's from.
Yep.
We've seen him in a few
Jeffrey
things.
Wright.
He's from
He was in oh, what is that?
Westworld.
Yes, Westworld. And he's also playing Commissioner Gordon in the Matt Reeves Batman.
Yeah, and so we got Haley Atwell, we got Josh Brolin as Thanos, Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark.
Yep.
We got Michael Douglas as Ant Man. I mean, we even have Taiki Waititi as Korg, Stanley
Yes.
Tucci as Doctor
I
Abraham.
love
So
Stanley Tucci.
and Taserface. So it looks like we have, I mean, Jeremy Renner, Michael Rooker, Paul
Which,
Rudd. I mean, we got Natalie Portman. Holy shit.
speaking of
Um,
Ant-Man,
I
they
don't
announced
see. I see
Quantum
Michael B.
Mania.
Jordan.
Ant-Man Quantum Mania is going to come out, and that's going to have Kang the Conqueror in it. So he goes from basically petty theft to King the Conqueror.
Hmm.
It's kind of interesting. I believe I'm 90% sure I saw everybody on the Reddit and Twitter saying that that's Chadwick Boseman. So I'm pretty sure it's
Now I'm
Chadwick.
wondering because I see Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. Now I'm wondering if Yondu picked up him instead of picking up
Yeah,
T'Challa.
yeah. That's he.
Maybe we just
In the
kind of
trailer,
assumed.
Yandu picks up somebody, and well, he had the accent, so maybe I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
That's true. He had the accent. Michael B. Jordan grew up in like
Brooklyn
California.
or he was Oakland. It was Oakland. His dad was yeah. I
Well,
don't
we're
know.
gonna
We'll
add
see.
more to our We Messed Up next week. So,
Yes.
because I don't see any other cast or crew here. I don't.
I don't
So I
think
don't
they even
see.
have it fully. If you're on IMDb, that's not set in
I
stone.
am on IMDb. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not set in stone. Like I just mentioned, Kang is going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania, in which Michelle Pfeiffer's returning for. That starts filming in early 2021. We have Lady Sif's going to be coming back in Thor: Love and Thunder,
Finally, where the hell has she been?
which Christian Bale is going to be playing Gore the God Butcher, and that's we're getting some Christian Bale. I wonder how he's going to method act this role. Is the big joke because he went from starving inmate looking in The Machinist to Batman to fat as Dick Cheney. You know, he's playing a God Butcher.
Is this the first Marvel we get him in?
Mhm.
Well, that's good.
This is the first Marvel Universe. Christian Bale is in it. We have Guardians of the Galaxy holiday movie with James Gunn at the helm in 2022. I
I w-
I don't know why we're announcing a holiday movie of Guardians of the Galaxy. That's kind of one of those oversaturated things. Like when people complain that this is an oversaturation, that's one of those things that it's just like, okay, we didn't
Oh,
need,
I'm looking
but
forward to this. I
sure.
want a
All right.
Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
We have Ironheart,
And I
who
hope they do it like a holiday variety show like Star Wars. I really hope they do.
oh, he said that's the inspiration, and he unironically loved the Star Wars holiday. So we'll see.
Oh no.
I
This
don't
is going to
know.
be amazing.
We have Captain Marvel 2. So Miss Marvel is going to appear in Captain Marvel 2, which is going to come out in November of 2022. You have her best friend's daughter is going to be playing in it as well as grown up. I can't remember
Captain
the name.
Trouble or Lieutenant
Yes,
Trouble.
Lieutenant Trouble. They'll be in it. We have Ironheart, which is basically somebody takes Iron Man's suit and perfects it. We have the Armor Wars starring War Machine. So Don Cheadle's coming back, and it's basically what happens when the Stark tech gets in the wrong hands. And it believed that Justin Hammer might be making another appearance. I like Justin Hammer, so I'm cool with that.
Such a douche.
Yes, we have She-Hulk. So Mark Ruffalo's coming back to play Hulk and She-Hulk. We also have Tim Roth. I wish I had some sort of connection to Tim Roth, being that that's my last name, but I don't. And alas, he's playing Abomination again. I never thought we'd see Abomination back after that Hulk
Which is
movie.
ridiculous because I mean, he was what the second MCU movie and we
Yeah,
just like
Hulk
forget that
was
that part's
because he's built by
connected.
Universal. You have Edward Norton who took over, which then Mark
I
Ruffalo
know, but
took
we still have
over.
what's his face's or her dad.
Yeah, he's in it. And you don't see any Betty, so I wonder if Betty's going to make an appearance at all. But
Right,
yeah,
but we see what's her dad's name? I've already forgot. General
General
Corporal Lieutenant
Ross,
somebody.
Ross,
General Ross, yes. He's in a bunch of the movies.
Civil War. He showed up in Endgame
Right,
because
he's like the only thing that we took away
or
from that
Infinity War,
Hulk
I should
movie.
say. Yeah, he was the only thing that stayed like the continuity between them. But Tim Roth's going to
Right.
appear
So
as
I'm glad we're
Abomination.
seeing some of that and they're recognizing that that movie is connected because I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that.
They don't, and just because it's like Universal has the rights to the movies, like Hulk is still like a Marvel character, and Hulk never properly gets his own dues. And the movie, like the Edward Norton Hulk movie, was actually pretty good. I thought it was
It
good.
was very good. I liked it.
We
Yeah.
can all forget the
I
Eric
mean,
Bana version because that movie sucked ass.
oh,
It was
that was, oh my
awful.
God. He just kept getting bigger and bigger
And
and
then he's
bigger.
fighting the dogs, and it was awful. But I would like to see Betty Ross. Like, what the hell happened to her? All of a sudden,
Yeah, I don't know.
Banner's going and schmoozing with Black Widow. Like, what the hell, man?
Right. But now he's
So
this
yeah, I
Hulk
don't.
professor guy. So I don't know who
I
he's
I
schmoozing
hope they
with
get rid of
anymore.
that too. I hope they separate them again because I didn't like
Yeah,
Professor
that's
Hulk. I
weird.
feel like you got no character development there with Hulk. Um, so yeah, they also teased that maybe some other superhero lawyers might be appearing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Well, they've talked about Daredevil might be in Spider Man. Has that been confirmed yet?
I don't believe it's been confirmed. The
So
rumor
I'm
going
loving, I've been
around is that Charlie Cox is showing up in Spider-Man. We'll
Okay.
see. Everybody, Spider-Man at this rate, Tom Holland's going to get 6 minutes of showtime in this movie
I
because there's
know.
so many people in it. Like,
Um,
just give me
yeah, I guess it's
Peter
still
Parker
rumored to
in New
star.
York. I don't know, man. Just we don't have to ham fist everybody.
Yeah, it's still all rumors. But what I love, I'm sure other people have seen as well, is the meme where like Tom Holland's sitting down with Misty Knight, and then Daredevil comes in and he's like, Peter Parker, don't say anything else. And then Misty's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm his lawyer.
I haven't seen this at all.
I mean, it's just a meme somebody created
I feel like
with scenes
I'm on
from,
top of my memes, and I guess not.
but
Weird. I
if I
hope that
find the
doesn't
meme again,
happen.
I will
Let's
save
hope
it
that
and I
doesn't
will
happen. I don't
send it
know
to you and post it.
because people post some cringeworthy shit. So, uh,
Let's see. We see some things that say Charlie Cox is returning in Spider-Man 3, but it's
it's
still a bunch of
it's
rumored stuff.
unconfirmed.
So
I guess there's
reportedly.
a lot of rumors. We'll see. Lastly, or not lastly, I should say, we have Secret Invasion. So Fury and Talos, oh my God, Ben Mendelsohn is coming back as Talos, and it's a series. There's no date. So I wonder if they're gonna do like Secret Invasion with the Skrulls, and it's gonna kind of lead into like a movie because Spider-Man and WandaVision are gonna supposedly be continuations and intertwine with Doctor Strange 2, which Rachel McAdams is showing back up for as well. So I don't know. I kind of hope maybe they're gonna. I don't know how all those are gonna intertwine, especially if WandaVision is coming out in the spring or the winter, January, and then we're gonna
Right.
go from WandaVision to Spider-Man. But WandaVision is supposed to deal with Doctor Strange, and then Spider-Man is supposed to deal with Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange is going to come out at some point.
Right.
I don't
But I
know.
mean, we all said earlier with some of the like Infinity Wars and Endgame, I was like, well, how are they going to fix all this? How are they, how are they going to do all that? So,
Yeah,
I mean, and they did a really good job and they did not copy the comic book exactly to a T. So, I
I'm
mean, I
excited
trust
that
they had a
Rachel
plan
McAdams
going
is
in
coming back
before,
from
but
Doctor Strange too, personally, though. I love Rachel McAdams. Bring all the Rachel McAdams.
yeah, she barely had much of a role in that first movie too. So I feel like
No,
she would be a good character to have a stronger role.
agreed.
Um, but yeah, WandaVision, I feel like we'll have a better idea after that comes out, but that almost just seems like she's in a coma or something. Like it's just all in her head.
Well, yeah, it's like I
And
think
the
it's like
people
all in
in
her
are like,
head.
save us.
It's all in her head. Maybe she's held captive or something somehow after Endgame, and then like that's her way of like they have her in some sort of coma, and then she like breaks out, and then maybe she's in I don't know. So they all I know is this is gonna be
Right.
like her introduction to the multiverse, which is gonna be pretty sweet to see how they handle it all, I guess.
Right. And how much they created and how much was there
Right.
before.
Yeah.
But
The
you see some of the
last
other characters like asking her for help and stuff. It's like, is this all in her head that she's even helping these people, or do these other people like somehow trapped in her mind as well? I
right.
haven't read any comics that are just Wanda.
I haven't
Like
either.
I've only
Personally, I
read
know
ones
she's
where,
the strongest Avenger. Is what she's even stronger than Captain Marvel. They've said.
hmm, interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. She's the
We have
strongest Avenger. It's not Thor.
nope. Sorry,
Strongest
that's
Avenger.
not Thor. It's actually Hulk.
Point Break.
Hawkeye's gonna also release late 21 on Disney Plus. Haley Steinfeld is finally confirmed because we have literally at this point we know what's happening because there's set photos every single day of her and Jeremy Renner just walking down streets of New York. Um, she's going to be Kate Bishop, so that's pretty cool. That's going to come out next year at
Archer.
some point. I think there's been like set photos where the year shows of like 2024, so it looks like it's taking place post Endgame, which you would have thought Jeremy Renner is just going to go home to his wife and family finally and have a happy ending, but I guess
Right.
not.
I wonder if they'll incorporate any of the pandemic into any of this stuff. It's like, oh, maybe, when y'all brought back everybody, we got the pandemic.
Yeah,
You
I'm
brought back the
curious to see how
COVID.
they navigate
Maybe
it.
the guy who ate the bat was snapped away.
Right. But last thing we have is we're getting another Fantastic Four film. This time it's by John Watts, and they're going to take another crack at it at some point. We'll see. It's Marvel's
Take.
first family. Who
I
knows
mean,
how
that
it's
was
going
one
to
of the
end?
first things when everybody found out. I mean,
We
people,
knew
of
this
course,
was
said
coming.
X-Men and
We
everything,
knew
but
this was coming.
Fantastic Four was one that people really want done.
Right.
Like people who
So
have watched the comic or read the comics, like
you
they know
have
they deserve a good story.
we're eventually obviously going to get X-Men. It's a matter of time. I think somehow the multiverse is going to pull mutants and things like that in. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think they'll bring him in gradually at first.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
I think.
You can't just like throw up mutants all over the place, of course. But yeah, we're getting another
Yeah,
Fantastic Four,
especially
whether we
because we
like
already
it or
have
not.
mutants. We're just not calling them mutants.
Yeah, and
But
that's
they
kind
haven't
of
said anybody who's in it, correct?
no. There's no announcements. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and the guy who plays the Red Ranger slash he plays Billy is his name in Stranger Things 2 and 3. He's that one girl's
Oh,
brother
okay.
is a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
douchebag. So
He's young.
yeah, he's been the fan cast as far as you know,
Torch.
Torch, the Human Torch. So
I like
we'll
John
see.
Krasinski for
I would
Fantastic
play,
Four
yeah,
because
John Krasinski and his wife Emily Blunt. Yeah, sure, do it up. They're great actors, so why not? However, sometimes fan castings can be off, so we have no idea. We'll get it as it goes.
I still
But
think Sebastian Stan needs to play Luke Skywalker.
oh, I honest to God, I hope we get that. I'm cool, and I know Mark Hamill's cool with it, so I hope we get that as far as an Ahsoka TV show, or maybe he shows up in this finale of
Right, just a
Mandalorian.
cameo or something.
Just
Yeah.
show up, do it. Because if you're already retconning and picking and choosing other shit, why not? You know, eventually you're going to remake Star Wars, the first three. It's eventually going to happen. And why not maybe Sebastian Stan it with Luke Skywalker? I'm cool with it. And I know he is
Yeah.
too. Mark Hamill is. So give it that, or just give us something that's not a Skywalker story for once.
Right.
So,
So
anyways, next week, I know we did a special edition. We had to get this one out again this week. So, next week, we're going to talk Harry Potter. Our friend Jess slash the Hoppy Mommy's daughter there, Mini Hoppy, she's joining us. And we're going to talk some Harry Potter. We won't cover everything, but because there's so much to talk about for Harry Potter, but we're going to talk Harry Potter. We'll talk some news that happens between now and then. And other than that, catch us on Hops Geek News on the Instagram. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, search us on Hops News on any of your streaming platforms. And cheers. Thank you for joining us.
This has been a Hops News production. You can find Hops News on all your favorite podcasts and social media platforms at Hops News. Cheers.